From a room next to my bathroom in my basement, this is My Worst Holiday, a podcast about your worst wedding, bachelor party, bachelorette party, whatever that's funny after the fact. We want to hear it. And today we have another special guest, Mr. Michael Spedden. Michael, say hello.
Hello. Hey, it's great to be back again. It's great to be back. What's it been? Too long. That's how long
I
it's
think it's
been.
been
Too
like
long.
probably 3 or 4 years, maybe.
Something like that. Yeah.
Because
Something like
I've
that.
been doing this like solo for about 2 years now.
Okay.
And it was before that because I think was Jay with me or was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the first time we got booked. We were introduced to each other by Voldemort. So, he whose name shall not be mentioned. but yeah.
Exactly. He who shall not be mentioned.
Yes,
Exactly.
or named or whatever. But
Mhm.
that's a whole
It
other
was
mess
fun
right there
because
we
I've
won't
had several
discuss.
people on after that, that was under that feller again. And
Mhm.
yeah, they told him to go fuck himself too. So
Yeah, I tell you, yeah, things are going good though. Things are going good. Still doing my podcast, Fowl Players Radio, and I've
Well
had
Players
you as a
Radio.
guest on there.
Yep.
Um, I've got a new gig, as you can kind of see in my background here.
I see that.
97underground.com. I'm a DJ because I'm an old 80s headbanger. And that was my time. That was my time.
Right. We just went and seen at the Arcada up in St. Charles up by Chicago. We just
Mhm.
went and seen Jeff Tate.
Oh,
And
hey,
that was
yeah, he's been around. Yeah.
great show. Great show.
Mhm.
That'll be technically, it wasn't Queensryche, but that'd be like the 4th time I seen him.
Yeah.
I've seen Jeff Tate anyway, 3 times with Queensryche, once on a solo.
Oh yeah. He's still out touring and everything. It's sounding great. That's just
God,
doing very well with that.
his voice is just, like God.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
D. Snyder once said, if you listen close enough, you can actually hear him looking down his nose at you.
Yeah.
So
That's about right. That's about right. I was, as a matter of fact, I was looking through Tubi the other night, and I found that movie Heavy Metal Parking Lot. I don't know if you've heard of this or not, but it was about 17 minutes before a Judas Priest concert in 1986 at the
oh,
Capitol Center. The Capitol Center was the arena in suburban DC, which Baltimore DC is very close together. It's only about 40 miles apart. This was the Capitol Center where at the time Washington Bullets, Washington Capitals, and
oh
concerts.
yeah,
Yeah. So it was called Heavy Metal Parking Lot. And if you want to watch almost like a real action, what do they call it? Live action instead of cartoon version
yeah.
of Beavis and Butthead. It's on Tubi right now. It's only about 17 minutes long, but it's the crowd outside of a Judas Priest concert. Judas Priest and Dokken was there that night.
Oh
And
Jesus.
yeah, everybody was in the parking lot. It was very 1986.
Yeah.
Very, very 1986. And I was actually at that show, but I wasn't on camera, but I was actually in that parking lot
Oh,
at
that's
the
super
time. 'Cause
cool.
yeah. But yeah, 97 Underground it was a station that's been around. It started in Baltimore, where I'm originally from, in the 80s. It started actually as a high school station and ended up going commercial. It was put together by the students and a teacher at Dundalk High School, Tom Pless. And it ended up, it was just internal within the school. They would play music for
Right.
lunchtime and read the announcements. Then they ended up getting a hold of a tower and then renting a bigger tower and moving on and actually departing from the school and becoming an actual commercial regular
Right.
radio station that featured heavy metal and hard rock. One of the first in the country to play Guns N' Roses, Metallica. And
Awesome.
one of the things that was really good about it, and some of the bands I was in back in those days, actually got airplay on 97 Underground because they were very, very supportive of locals.
Live local bands. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool.
very, very supportive of that. And it wasn't just where a lot of stations have, hey, it's Sunday night, let's turn on the local hour, or where they
And everybody,
local licks.
if you don't know, Michael is about 9 foot fucking tall. So if you're looking for
Yeah.
like a front man, yeah, this guy's a fucking monster. That cup he has is actually 2 gallons.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this was actually it's actually this is actually a 55-gallon drum right here. I put a handle
There
on it.
you go.
But I was the only when I was a bass player, I used to make my basses look small. You know how normally bass players are up there and the thing's huge on them. I could make that look small.
You and Stuart Ham.
Yeah, exactly.
Robin Cosby, but
yeah. But 97 and still what we do now is feature a lot of local acts, people that are, in this area here. But the fact that we're a .com right now and we're no longer terrestrial, we're on the internet, we're all over the world. And we get unsigned and up and coming bands from all over the place.
I want a platform that's really limited. If you can give me a platform that's much more limited than the world, that's what I want to go for.
Right. And
you don't have an antenna? What?
Yep. It's online. 97 Underground. You can kind of see in the corner there behind me. .com is what it is now. It came back, I think, in like 2018. And it's been like a .com ever since. But the thing that's been great is like a lot of guys that I knew from 30, 35 years ago are back. Their bands. When we were playing in the late 80s and early 90s was when the hair band thing kind of went out. Right. And then all of a sudden everything was grunge, and it was pretty abrupt.
When the hair band thing kind of phased out, I was ready for it. I was looking for something new. And then I heard Bare Naked Ladies. I'm like, what is this?
I agree with that. I agree. It was getting tired. It was getting kind of tired.
When Europe came out with the Final Countdown, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm fucking out. You seen the video and he just got spinning the microphone and doing the duck lips?
Right.
Like, I'm like, all right, this is it. You're just looking for fucking pretty boys now. I'm out, man. I'm out. I need something new. Yep. And then I heard Guns N' Roses. And my mind fucking did a backflip. And I live down in a little place down in Fulton. It's in Fulton County, Illinois, which there's nothing in Fulton County, Illinois. So I listened to it for the first time in a trailer park. But yeah, it's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, that was a great album. And it didn't quite hit at first. They actually re-released it later in the fall. It came out in the fall of '86, and actually they re-released it in '87, and it did a lot better. It caught on.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of the bands
I think I first heard it like late '87, early '88.
Yep. That's kind of around the time when they kind of re-released it and brought it back out again. And the timing was right at that time. So, there were a number of bands that I've had on, like the Zeros, I've had Kicks, and a lot of them were kind of the victims of that. The grunge
out thing. In the nighttime. Yeah.
Yep.
I seen them with Rat and Brittany Fox.
Okay, yeah. They've been around. As a matter of fact, they just retired. Kicks did.
I've seen that.
They just did their final show last fall at Merriweather Post Pavilion in Columbia, Maryland. And they were a Maryland band. Actually, originally West Virginia, but they came up like in Frederick, which is Western Maryland, out towards West Virginia. And got close to 45, 46 years in existence. Always a favorite around here, always a big favorite around here. But them and like a lot of the other acts, they were just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, the record companies just kind of started cutting those bands. So a lot of people from that time, have a lot of unfinished business. And there were a lot of bands that were from the Baltimore DC corridor, the scene that I played on back in those days, which were really good bands, but just the time came and it was like, forget about it. You got to be doing funk or grunge or something
Right.
as compared to, the hair band stuff. So,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Right.
Exactly.
Right. So,
they had one station for like an hour on Sunday night. They'd play alternative.
Yep.
And, I'm listening to like that 1 hour. I'm listening to Alanis Morissette and Garbage and Bare Naked Ladies, and I'm like, yeah, this is getting,
right.
fucking good.
Yep, like MTV had 120 minutes, if you remember that show, and then there was also I think Liquid TV. That was another one that was on. Yep, around that time. Yeah, and that was when and a lot of the bands they would play on there were like the ones that you mentioned, and even before that, like Camper Van Beethoven, the Smithereens.
Smithereens, yeah.
Yeah, they were great. They just came around too not too long ago. They had Marshall Crenshaw singing for them because their original singer passed away. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that the lead singer passed away.
Yeah, Pat Denizio. I guess it was probably it was before COVID. And then actually they did a tour with Marshall Crenshaw. Then the last tour, I stand corrected, was actually the lead singer for the Gin Blossoms toured with them as their singer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They were just down.
Them too. They were out here. The Bacon Brothers.
Yes.
It was the Bacon Brothers, Gin Blossoms, and Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth was the headliner.
Okay. Yeah.
So I got to see Bacon on the bongos. So Kevin Bacon played the bongos, and I got to see Bacon on the bongos. So.
Yep.
And my wife got her. She had a tall drink, and it kind of looked like the bong. This guy goes, "I'll sign your bong for you," and she goes, "Oh," and it was Kevin's brother.
Okay.
The good Bacon, not Kevin, the good one.
I met him actually in 7th grade. He was in the Barry Levinson movie The Diner, and The Diner came out in the early. It came out in the early 80s, and it was part of the trilogy. It was The Diner, Liberty Heights, and Avalon were the 3 movies that were kind of semi-autobiographical that Barry Levinson put out. And Kevin Bacon was in The Diner. And a bunch of us in our 7th grade school newspaper got to go over to the set and meet them. And, we were such, not knowing any better back then because they were filming in my neighborhood. There was one scene, and I don't know if you've seen the movie, but there was one scene that was being filmed in a movie theater that was in my neighborhood. And then they all come walking out, and they had all these 50s cars parked on the street, and so we were like, hey, so what we did is we went home. Me and my friends, we said, hey, maybe we can get into the movie. So back in those days, we used to have school spirit week, and one of the days was 50s Day.
Yeah.
So
what day?
Yeah, it was 50s Day. This was
50s Day. Yeah, we had that too back in the 80s.
Yeah.
50s Day was always fucking cool. Yeah.
Yeah. We would always so we went home, we put on our 50s stuff and came back. We said, hey, can we be in the movie? Like in extras or something? The guy's like, get out of here, you kids, And,
you little sons of bitches, get out.
Get out of here. Get out of here, but no. And but I did get to go along with the people for the school newspaper. They got to interview. It was him and Mickey Rourke.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was one of those it was one of those middle school newspaper caliber interviews. What is your favorite color? What is your favorite food? That kind of stuff. So
where do you get your Coke?
right, exactly. So we did that in those days. But do you remember Zebra from the 80s?
Yeah,
I just emceed their concert in Annapolis, Maryland a couple months ago.
Really?
This was really funny because they played at a club called Ram's Head, and it's a great venue.
So someone like you, right?
What's that?
Someone just like you. Is that
no? They did. No, their song was "Tell Me What You Want."
Oh no, that was Bang Tango. Yeah, Tell Me What You Want.
Bang Tango was yes.
Bang Tango did someone like,
Zebra was "Tell Me What You Want." Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's it.
one.
Yeah,
And they had Bears, the La La song, and a bunch of other ones. And so they contacted our station. They put ads on it, and they were having trouble
yeah,
selling tickets. And they put an ad on our station, and voila, that show sold out. So
nice.
we went and part of the advertising package was, one of the DJs and me would go
Yeah,
introduce the band. So I
right.
came out and I was backstage. And again, you saw how tall I am. Their
Yeah,
bass player, Felix Hanneman, is probably maybe 5'6" at the most. And they said, when they said introduce him, they said, all right, go out and use his mic. And they had his mic on a stand, the wire wrapped around. So I walk out on the stage and the mic comes up to my sternum, like right about
right.
here. So I walked out right up to that mic stand. I looked at the crowd. They're looking at me. And I just bent down and I said, well, they're a great band, but not a very tall one. And I got a lot of laughs out of that one. Also got to introduce Slaughter at a club down in Virginia.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic.
yeah.
Give me just a
Yeah.
second. My brother Alan's watching. He has a show called Daddy and Daughter Eat Weird Food Combinations on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Brett Allen's watching. He's a fellow podcaster. And my friend Jennifer's watching. This is
Oh,
Michael
great.
Spedden. Michael Spedden, you might know him best from the J.G. Wentworth commercial. He's the Viking. He also has his own show called Fowl Players Radio and is a
Mm-hmm.
DJ for
And 97underground.com.
Boom,
97underground.com.
the
And
Real Rock.
yeah, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide is kind of our
There you go.
slogan. And my show is on from 4 to 6 on Tuesdays, and it repeats from 3 to 5 Sundays. And I also have a YouTube channel because I put all the interviews I do for 97 Underground on there. It's on YouTube. It's at 97 Underground, Michael Spedden. And I've just recently interviewed, a lot of bands that were regional from here. Let me see, one band, Psycho Boy. I just had Taz on. But then I've also had Thrill Ride. I've had Testament was on recently.
Oh,
Joel
Testament. All right.
Hoekstra from Whitesnake. I've interviewed him.
Mhm.
I had Zebra on. And I've got about 37 interviews there on Fowl Players Radio. I think I'm getting close to 330 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm
Whitesnake,
like,
I seen them in concert. They were okay, but Stevie Vai played for him. Was it Stevie that played for him for a while? He was
was
super good. Stevie Vai.
oh yeah, Steve Vai. Yeah, Whitesnake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was the best part of the show. He was
Mhm.
yeah. Hey,
Yep,
Sean.
I saw him over the span of like a year. I saw him with both David Lee Roth and with Whitesnake.
I did too. I
Yeah.
seen him. I seen them both. And David Lee Roth was just like, my friend, me and my friend Jay, we were both at the same show, but we
Mhm.
seen two different shows.
Yeah.
Like, I was like disappointed, and he's like, "That was the greatest thing that ever happened." I'm like, "You just stood up there and like, look at me, look at me,
Mhm.
look at me," And I'm like, "All right, I get it. You're David Lee Roth." But then seeing him with Whitesnake, Whitesnake was okay, and Great White was okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, but because who was it that I was going to see? I think it's Def Leppard and Tesla, like right
Yep.
around the
Mhm.
same time, and that show fucking rocked.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean,
Tesla's great. I saw them with Styx a couple of years ago.
yeah,
Styx and
I've
Joan
seen him
Jett. Yeah.
technically. I've seen him technically 3 times because
Mhm.
I've seen him twice in concert with Def Leppard,
Mhm.
but the other time there was a little bar down here, and Warrant was playing in it. And
Oh,
there's a
okay.
bar. There was a band called Bar 7,
Mhm.
and I'm like, Bar 7, well, or whatever. But the lead guitarist comes walking out playing, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, wait a second, and then you hear the voice from like come over the microphone, and he was still hiding in the back, and I'm like, it's fucking Tesla.
Yeah. They sounded great when I saw them.
Oh,
Yeah, they really sounded good. Really sounded good. You know who else I saw? I wanted to tell you about. What I wanted to tell you too was we were just talking about Whitesnake and David Lee Roth with Steve Vai.
yeah.
I saw both of them with Kicks opening for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, not too long ago, I also met Billy Sheehan. He was playing with a band called Sons of Apollo down in Washington. We went down for that show, but there was always controversy around that Kicks and David Lee Roth show. Okay. What happened is Kicks started going over their time limit.
Yeah.
They were like halfway through their last song and they just flipped the lights on and cut the PA off.
Oh,
And
jeez.
they were the hometown crowd that night. I mean, they were playing in Baltimore. And so from what I've heard, and I've interviewed 3 members of Kicks and Billy Sheehan, apparently the bass player after that happened made like he was going over and taking a leak on David Lee Roth band's stuff on the stage. Okay. From what I understand, he really didn't, but he made like he was doing it. But like 3 of their bouncers went over and grabbed him and just beat the living tar out of him.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And but I got to the bottom of that because there were so many people that said, yeah, he did it. Then there's a bunch of people that said, nah, he didn't do that. But it turned out that what he did is he
never let the truth get in the way of a good story, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yep. Yeah.
Now,
so
this is actually a true story with Great White. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing down at a place in Pekin, which I unfortunately lived there for a little while. It's just an awful place.
Mm-hmm.
Super prejudiced. Magnifique. They're just awful. Just an awful town. But anyway, I was single, and I'd go to this place called Italian Village or Italian Express, and every time you'd get a bucket of spaghetti. It came in a bucket, okay, and but it made me super fucking gassy. I mean,
I love where this is going already.
Bad gassy, yeah. And I'm front row. I'm like right up front, and my buddies are around me and everything, and I can't hold it. It's bad. Like, and of course, like after I do it, I back up like away from who did that? And I backed away from every. And I'm watching the lead singer of Great White. And he's like, "Rock me, rock." So I farted on Great White.
Oh wow! Hey, something. Amen. Amen.
You can see he physically backed up, like, God.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I was I did that one. I was playing in an acoustic duo a number of years ago. We would get a lot of like Saturday afternoon gigs in some of these bars. They would be serving lunch and drinks and everything, and we would be playing and had a crab cake, which I don't think was quite right for some reason. And I just I was up there and I just, we were playing, you couldn't really hear it, but I did it. And I just happened to peer over as I was playing. I looked over at, my partner up there. And like I see him sitting there strumming, and he just like stops, looks at me and goes, "Wow." And then it was like,
was you playing in the air tonight?
What's that?
Was you playing in the air tonight?
Yes, yeah, exactly. But there was the bar was probably, I guess the room itself was probably about 40 feet long, and like a good 20 feet of people that were sitting at tables in front of us while we were playing got up and moved to the back. It was just call that Chinese fire drill or something. Yep.
Yeah, my buddy Mitch is like, "Marky, you stink, buddy."
Yeah. Oh man. Geez, whiz. Did I ever tell you the one band I was in? Here's a story for you. This is a good my worst holiday thing, even though it's not particularly funny, but it's more wild. Okay.
Yeah. My buddy Sean Bratton's watching. He's got a podcast called Sensibly Cynical. So
okay.
Go on.
Okay, so
and before you start, let me do this one thing real quick. And ladies and gentlemen, we are on Mosaic TV. If you have a Amazon Fire Stick, if you have a Roku device, if you have an Android device, you can download Mosaic TV and see Michael, see me,
hey,
see all
here
the
I
shows,
am.
see all the other shows that's on there. You're gonna love it. It's Mosaic TV. Download it and watch it.
Awesome.
Okay, back to you, Mike.
Awesome. So it was around 1990. I was playing in a band in Baltimore, and the club that we were playing at was called The Rage, and it was right around the corner from the strip club district in Baltimore City called the Block. So a lot of the girls used to come, when they weren't, when they were on break or whatever, they would come down, catch a band, have a drink, go back. So that was a lot of the crowd there, strippers, a lot of wasn't hard on the eyes at all, I have to say. So
there's the worst place to be. Yeah.
Yep. So there was I don't think there was any like a romantic relationship. It was more of a friend kind of thing that one of the girls had with our singer. And one night, he was over at her apartment. He was playing his guitar, and then he left. And this girl had a roommate who had a boyfriend who would hit her, really abusive and everything.
Oh.
And the girl was very instrumental in getting her roommate to leave this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently after our singer left her apartment that night, that guy went in and strangled that girl to death with a telephone cord.
Oh, no, fuck. No. Okay.
Yeah. So a couple nights later, we were scheduled to be on a local television show. It was on one of the local channels. It was called Rock Live, and they would come around and film bands, and they would do interviews with them, and they would do like maybe usually 2 or 3 bands for an hour show. Yeah. And the night we were supposed to film, we were all set to go. Then all of a sudden, Officer Friendly shows up with the homicide squad, and we all got pulled down into the office of the club and questioned and everything. And to make a long story short, it wasn't us. They caught the guy that did it. They found him in Florida. Ended up being Florida man. Who don't they catch in Florida? I mean, that's like textbook. You do something.
Well, yes, they got to go to Florida.
Yep. Yeah, I know. You do something bad, you go to Florida. That's that's
the
like
rules.
a pattern.
I don't make the rules, man. That's just what they are.
That must be an instinct, or that just must be a natural inclination for some people.
It's like
I guess migration. They don't want to hide out. What's that? They don't want to hide out in the cold.
It's just it's an internal calling, that
right. So they ended up catching the guy. I forget how much time he got or whatever, but the thing that was kind of, they kept coming to us and asking us, so how did you know her? And they were giving us a third degree. Actually, they weren't too hard on me because I was the fat guy in the band. They figured out she don't like him. He wasn't involved. So, but
everybody but you.
Everybody but yeah.
You don't even have a shot, sir.
I think she was involved in that. She wouldn't like him. Yeah. Well, I had a day job and I could afford food, So
I could too, Dater. We know, buddy. Yeah. We know. We know.
But that was definitely that was something else when that happened. We ended up having to postpone the filming of that show because we were just so messed up from that and everything.
Oh, sure, yeah.
The producers were really nice about it, and we were back like in a couple of weeks.
But one of your buddies just got strangled to death. You're on in 15. Anyway.
Yeah. And there were a lot of like funny things that happened back then. Another time we were at the Rage, and this guy comes in. He was probably about 5'4", but about 6'3" with his hair. And wearing spandex. He had like the Seinfeld pirate puffy shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And his girlfriend had the same outfit, except she was wearing a mini skirt.
Reckons himself a lead singer, does he?
Yeah, well, he comes up to us. we're sitting at the bar, and he goes, "Are you guys liking a band?" And we're like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I've been in lots of bands. I've played all over." And he's like bragging about himself. And he goes, "And you know what? I'm from
Now, is
LA."
he English or Californian?
Cal
Because the accent is kind of Californian-ish with a British hint of douchebag.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to
Okay.
that.
All right.
So he comes up and he goes, he keeps telling, bragging about all these things. I opened for this, I played here, I played there. And you know what? I'm from LA. And his girlfriend looks at him. She goes, "You're not, you're from Pittsburgh." And he goes, "Well, look at me. I should be from LA." I mean, it
You're
was
from
such a
douchebag.
yeah. I mean, but the thing was that the thing that I've been really glad about, in the last couple of years is I've been able to really reconnect with a lot of the bands that were around in those times, because those are really it was a really good scene we had here.
Oh yeah.
The Baltimore DC area, back in those days, it was very a lot of different kinds of bands were around. The clubs were great, the scene was great, a lot of support from people, and people were really supporting original music back in those days. And again, I've been able to kind of get a lot of those folks to come on the 97 Underground show and Foul Players Radio too. I've been
Right.
playing their music, and a lot of people have been coming back and saying, "Hey man, I haven't heard these guys in 30 years, great show." So that's kind of and then 97 Underground helped me back in those days with airplay, and they were always great to us when it came to promotions and that sort of thing. Really into helping people out, and I've kind of made that part of my mission, being here at 97 Underground.
Yeah,
Being
it'd be
willing
great
to.
to have unfortunately, well, I live in kind of a smaller town. You don't get like a lot. We had that one bar downtown. It used to have some great bands that come in. Chris Duarte was just down here at a, and I, you know who Chris Duarte is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure,
Okay.
sure.
So the last time he was here, one of my friends is friends with Gary Green, who was the lead guitarist for Gentle Giant,
Oh
and
yeah,
he just lives down the road from us, like just down in Princeton. But anyway, I'm sitting there at the table with my buddy Steve, and Gary Green comes up and sits down. And so I'm sitting there with Gary Green. I'm like, "Oh, this is fucking cool." And then Chris Duarte comes up and looks at Gary Green and goes, "You're my god," like this. And he sits down. So I'm sitting there at a table with Gary Green and Chris Duarte, and Chris drops something. I go, "Hey, Chris, you dropped something." And he goes, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "It's a pick." He goes, "I got that. I played with Buddy Guy the other day. He gave this to me. Here you go." And he just
That's
handed me the
cool.
guitar pick. Now I'm like, I got Buddy Guy's pick that was given to me by Chris Duarte while I'm sitting here with Gary Green.
Yeah,
What
hey,
the fuck is going on?
that's great. That's great.
I
Excellent.
didn't count on this tonight. So
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. That's another thing too. Really getting to meet these guys, and
yeah,
not only the local acts but the national acts too. Getting out, being able to MC and interview them and everything, and hear their stories. I just love the history end of that. Getting to meet
I'm
these
hoping
folks.
like a show like the station like yours is going to bring like that Baltimore crowd in to where you're getting like people like that to fill the houses and stuff, like he was talking about, like Zebra and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Getting people back in is awesome.
Yeah, and the people, we've been having different events at different clubs in the area. I mean, the club scene is just a fraction of what it used to be, but the thing is
Right.
that a lot of the club owners are being a lot more supportive. They're starting to come, the pendulum is starting to kind of swing back, and they're being a lot more supportive of the original acts. They're just not having, the cover band. I mean, they're still doing the cover bands, but they are giving plenty of stage time to these original acts. And again, a lot of people are going back because they feel they may have unfinished business, or And not
Or
only was it like,
they just love playing, man. They just
yeah,
love playing with
yeah,
each other and just going out and playing.
they just
Like my
love
buddy
playing.
Steve
And a
said,
lot of times too, guys would be like, a couple of the band members, may have gotten married and had kids, and that kind
yeah,
of, they shifted their focus to raising their families and everything. But now the kids are grown. Um, hey,
yeah,
they're going for
you're
it. They're going
retiring.
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're retiring. The kids are gone. I got a little
Hmm.
time on my hand. I know how to play that fucking thing. So,
Yep.
yeah.
It's been absolutely wonderful. Again, you're getting to meet and reconnect with a lot of these folks, and the scene's doing well. And the shows are well attended. Um, it's really I really think it's going to be an exciting time here. Over in the Mid Atlantic. Really with these acts coming through, and again
Yeah.
with the scene starting to build back up again. It's really something I've been passionate about, and really great to see. And so besides that, I've been up to. I did have a movie out around Christmas time. Um,
Hmm.
Small part in a movie where I actually played a DJ.
Oh,
The
cool.
movie was on Amazon Prime. Um, they took it down and they're getting ready to re-release the director's version. You know how they have
Oh, okay. All right.
the the movie house version, then they have like the director's cut, or the director's cut
Right.
is what they're going to put on Amazon. So we're waiting on that right now. But it's
What's the
called
movie?
What's that?
What's the movie?
The Lachrymose Primrose.
The
And
Lachrymose Primrose.
yes, it's a horror movie.
All
And
right.
I'm not going to give away the plot, but I play a DJ, a radio DJ. Did you ever see The Warriors?
Yes. In fact, I had one of the Warriors on my show.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I can't remember what he's a black guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Right.
But
I know who you mean.
Yeah.
I had one of the baseball
But
Furies.
the two people I had on are like big fans of the movie. They're like uber fans of him, and they know that they got to know the guy, and then he came on with them, and it was super cool. I'm like, Warriors come out to play, like
Yeah. That was a great movie. But the part that I had is almost like an homage to, well, hey Warriors, you made it through Brooklyn. Let's see you get past the baseball Furies. Like, you remember how that lady would come on, Lynn Thigpen?
yeah.
It was almost a part like that.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah. And I had somebody on my show who was in the Warriors. And I didn't find out till he was actually on the show, and he told me, but he was one of the baseball Furies. Remember the baseball gang? Yeah, he was one of those guys. And
okay.
Neat to talk
Everybody,
to.
we're talking to Michael Spedden. He's an actor. He has a show called Fowl Players Radio. He's also a DJ. He's been in movies he was in the series Gotham. He was also Kimmy Schmidt versus the Reverend. He played the bartender in that. That scene changed my life, man. And he's also he's best. Everybody knows him as the Viking from J.G. Wentworth's. Yeah, everybody knows it.
That was just out for 5 years this year now. Fifth year anniversary of the Viking. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was and I still talk to people that were in that commercial. That was a very, very nice group of people. We had a lot of fun on the bus all day. Yeah. Stuck together listening to that song over and over and over for 10 hours. We all kind of bonded,
Yeah. Fred Carroll from Dude in the Hen House is watching. Check out his show as well. Absolutely. So 5 years. I imagine like after hearing that like so many times, like you're hearing it in your fucking dreams. And
God, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean it was a good day.
The way you looked up, like I hit a nerve. Like oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that was that was a pretty long day, but it was a fun day. It was a long day, but it was a fun day, and kind of a tricky shoot too. because the bus was moving the whole time. And, when I had to come into camera, we were kind of going around a corner and I'm trying to keep my
So were
balance. And
you
I
on
don't
your
think I was,
knees then? Is that what it was? So he was about as tall as everybody else, or
no, I was crouching, which,
you're
what
crouching?
actually, I was in the back and I was on the back, the back door where they have the stairs that go down for the back door. I was
Yeah,
standing there. And when I actually came into the scene, I had to like step backwards and stay kind of squatted down so I could stay in the shot. I'd like kind of go
right,
backwards and around that girl that was behind me and come into the shot.
right.
And the thing is, when we were doing it, like the bus would turn or that we'd hit a bump or something, and it took a lot of shots of that. And that was, and that was a buns of steel workout. Really, you could have bounced a quarter off of my hiney after that one. That was quite a workout. And I tell you, I was sore after that too, man. I was like, geez, my legs were like jello for a couple of days, but met some super, super nice
The
people
rigors
on
of
that.
a tall fella, I tell you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, when I showed up for the shoot, all right, now I'm 6'6". So if I stood like in my socks, straight up and down, my head would touch the ceiling of that bus.
Oh
Now you
yeah,
remember those horns were 8 inches high,
right, right,
and there was also lights and stuff up there. So I had to stay crouched down anyhow,
right.
when I was on there. And that was a long day physically, but again, it was just a great time, and I got to meet just some of the nicest people.
Oh, that's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Memories to take with you, like.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And a couple of the folks who I still banter with on Facebook and stuff, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun, just a really great memory. And I've also done a couple of ID Discovery shows. Let me see, what was it? Murder Under the Friday Night Lights. And
Okay.
my wife just did one too. Kill or Be Killed. It's like when they dramatize a murder, and
Oh
then
yeah,
there's
this is right up my
yeah.
wife's alley.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
oh
I've done
yeah,
a
she
bunch of
she goes
those.
like, I watch history shit when I'm
Mhm.
going to sleep, and she's watching like, but she never came home. Like,
Right, 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 right. And yeah, I've done a couple of those. The only problem with those is that some of them will film you in entirety, but a lot of them they'll blur you or they'll film you from behind or from the neck down or something. Um, so you don't get a lot of
hey,
you don't get
that's what we
anything that you
are.
could use for a reel or anything. But
Hmm.
again, those are a lot of fun too. Those are a lot of fun to do. The people are usually super nice and a fun group to work with.
Sure, yeah, I can see that. That'd be
Yep,
super cool.
yep.
All right, Mike, we were going on about 45 minutes, so you've got the floor again. Tell
Hmm.
us everything about you, where they can find you, and everything, and then we got to get out, but hang out afterwards. Because
Okay.
I want to. There's like the underground keeps hitting your white teeth, and it
Yeah.
keeps.
Hey, boy, you got a real
It's not
pretty mouth.
gingivitis, or by God, that's the worst case of gingivitis I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
there you go.
it's my squeal like a pig, boy. Yeah,
The panties too. The
yeah.
panties too.
Oh God. Yep. So if you want to find me, you can see me right here for the next couple of minutes, but 97underground.com. You can also find my interviews on YouTube at 97 Underground, Michael Spedden. I also have Foul Players Radio, foulplayersradio.com, and on YouTube at Foul Players Radio. You can also find all my social media, my Michael Spedden page, my 97 Underground Back of the Rack page on Facebook. The Foul Players of Perryville, I forgot to talk about. We've had a very successful year with my murder mystery company. We're up
Oh,
to
cool.
6 venues. 6 venues. We're doing shows all the time, and we've got venues in Maryland, Virginia, And then with our sister company doing them in Pennsylvania, DC. So it's been a very good year for that too. Fowl Players of Perryville.com. If you're in the Mid-Atlantic, if you're listening from the Mid-Atlantic region, again, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Delaware, come check us out. We perform quite a bit, in that whole area. So come check us out, check our calendar, and better act fast though, because I hate to brag, but we've sold out every show this year. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. So it's been a good year. Keep an eye out for the Lachrymose Primrose on Amazon Prime. There was another show I was in, and sadly I ended up on the cutting room floor, which really pissed me off. But and the thing is, I can't say who it was or what it was, but
that sucks.
Yeah, I can tell you off the air.
You need to tell me those people so I can rip them, like give them a fucking complex. That's all. Just let me off the chain, man. I'll fuck with them for days.
Wish it was that easy, but I really can't. It's if I ever want to work,
I hurt you here, man. I fucking hurt you here.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you had me back. I'm glad that your show's doing well. Always a lot of fun to record with you and everything, and be on the show. And I'm glad that you're still at it and doing well.
You stop, Michael. You just stop.
Yeah, so let me wipe my nose off here.
There you go. There we
go. Yeah.
No, it's a pleasure having you on. You're such a pleasant person. I've enjoyed having you on, like both times that you've been on. I enjoy staying in touch with you. Just like after the first time I had this guy on, we've just stayed in touch.
Yep.
Sending each other funny shit every now and again. Saying hi. Stuff like that. So, and as far as my end goes, you know me, My Worst Holiday. You can pay me, give me some money at myworstholiday at patreon.com. You can find me on every fucking platform that there is. Like me on YouTube, My Worst Holiday Podcast on YouTube. Go on there, click the like. I really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Obviously, Mosaic TV. Download Mosaic TV. If you have a Roku device, if you have an Amazon Fire Stick, if you have an Android device, download Mosaic TV. See Michael, see me. We're really excited about this kind of shit. And from a room next to my bathroom in my basement, this has been My Worst Holiday. Good night, everybody.